Well, disagreements happen in the best of relationships, and let's face it, sometimes they can be really messy. The Bible speaks to this. Euodia and Syntyche were two faithful women in the Philippian church, and they got into some kind of disagreement that caused Paul to exhort them, ladies, agree in the Lord. And I think Paul was probably so passionate about this because he knew the consequences of unresolved disagreements in his own ministry relationships. In Acts 15, we read a story about how Paul and Barnabas, his ministry partner, had such a sharp disagreement, really over a staff member, a guy by the name of John Mark, that they decided to separate and go in different ministry directions. We hear about Paul throughout the rest of the book. We don't hear anything about Barnabas. You know, we will at times have conflict. The question is, what do we do about that conflict? How do we keep disagreements from escalating and becoming a source of sin and separation? Well, ask yourself two questions. One, is it really that important? You know, Paul told Timothy not to quarrel about words, which does no good, but only ruins those who hear. Not every disagreement needs to become an argument because many disagreements are really just not that important. So ask yourself, is this something that I really need to disagree about? Avoid petty controversies. A second question to ask is, can you defer to others? You know, Paul tells the Philippians in chapter 2, do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. In fact, he even says, let each of you look not only to his own interests, right, your opinions, but also to the interests of others. Of course, sometimes the disagreement that you have is about important or essential matters, and you simply can't defer because of conviction. And in those cases, it's important to keep a few principles of good communication in mind. First, keep your cool. The Bible says in Proverbs 17:27, whoever restrains his words has knowledge, and he who has a cool spirit is a man of understanding. So keep your cool. Secondly, be a good listener. James 1:19 says, know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, and of course, slow to become angry. So be a good listener. Thirdly, you need to watch your words. Ephesians 4:29, let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, that fits the occasion. Why? Because your desire should be to give grace to those who hear. Watch your words. Are they grace-filled or not? Also watch your tone. Proverbs 15:1 says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. You also want to remember to settle whatever disagreement you have quickly. Jesus speaks to this in the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5, verse 25. He says, come to terms quickly with your accuser while you're going with him to court, lest your accuser hand you over to the judge and the judge to the guard and you be put into prison. Now, hopefully disagreements don't escalate to that kind of level, but the principle is the same. Settle it quickly. Maybe another principle would be know when it's time to agree to disagree and then to just move on. Proverbs 10:19 says, when words are many, transgression is not lacking. But whoever restrains his lips is prudent. Sometimes we disagree and it goes on and it actually causes more damage. Get to the point and ask yourself, is it time to just move on? And finally, always remember this, above all the other points, cover it in love. 1 Peter 4, verse 8 says, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins.